Jamaica, home of reggae, where many across the world travel to get a taste and feel to experience reggae and Jamaica in its purest form. Following the video that I uploaded earlier today about Reggae Month, state of the constituency where reggae was born, I am going to let you hear the interview by Big Stone and JPU in 2022, where Big Stone spoke exclusively about how disappointed he was about the state of the constituency. Have a listen. Hi, everybody. Good evening. This is episode 6 of Jamaican Matters, and tonight I'm here with Mr. Big Stone, Mr. Sinclair from out of Trenchtown, right? Kingston 12. So I'm going to give you a chance to introduce yourself for the viewers who don't know who you are.
Well, first, I must say thank you so much for inviting me to your prestigious platform,
You're
Jamaican.
welcome.
It's my very first time, so I want to take this opportunity and big up every one of your listeners all around the world tuning in tonight for this exciting program because we're going to make this truthful and very exciting.
Yes,
My
man.
name is Claude Sinclair, but everybody call me Big Stone from my record label, Big Stone Records. Originally, I was born in St. Anne, but I grew up in St. Mary, Enfield, a little district known as Enfield. And then I migrated to Montego Bay, then back to Kingston, where I even became a policeman. So I was a police officer for 5 years, playing in the band division at one time. Migrated to the United States in 1980, start to learn about myself, who I am as a black man in the United States of America. After studying people like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela, Steve Bantu Biko, I get to understand that all these great freedom fighters was motivated by one man, and that's the Right Honorable Marcus Garvey. So I started to study Mr. Garvey extensively, learning who I am as a black man living in the United States of America. Then I said to myself, with all that I've learned, it's best for me to come back to Jamaica and educate the younger generation. Because even though I will be 65 in July, I still consider myself a young man at heart. And I'm here wanting to preserve and protect the future generation of soldiers who's going to pick up the mantle from us and take it forward into the next generations to come. So, I'm a humanitarian, I'm a philanthropist. I love people, I love my country, world without end. I would never exchange my country for the United States. I'm telling you, my family are very upset with me because I chose to come back home and do the work that I must do here. So that's a little bit about me. I'm a blogger on YouTube for 10 years with Big Stone Television, so record producer extraordinaire, etc., etc.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So, I say we, I invited you on tonight, Mr. Big Stone, because it's Reggae Month, and I know that you're a music man, and
Yeah.
you also are located in the reggae capital of Jamaica. So you should have a whole lot of things to tell us tonight.
Hold it more, hold it more, hold it more. I can tell you that on the 1st of February, we celebrate Dennis Brown's birthday on the very 1st of February. It was a beautiful experience. People from all over congregating down by Beat Street, because Dennis Brown lived right across the street there on Beat Street and North Street. And we celebrate also Junior Biles' 74th birthday. Big up yourself, Junior Biles. As you know, he gave us iconic songs like Fade Away, Beat Down Babylon, A Place Called Africa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And etc. A whole lot of it's come out to Junior Biles. Currently, he's not feeling well, with some, sanity issues and so on. But he has a loving, caring family that takes care of him. Also, we celebrate the 6th of February, which is Bob Marley's Earth Day, as you know. Also, the Earth Day of Bunny Ruggs, I think. And also, later on down, I think it's the 7th or the 8th, Derek Ariat celebrates his birthday in this month. So, February is not just Black History Month, but it's Reggae Month, and a lot of the greats were born in this month. So it's a beautiful experience for me to share the joy with you. However, we still have icons that we have lost since the beginning of the year. We have lost Sister Vi, Mama Vi from the 12th tribe of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
She passed away recently, and her funeral is coming up. We just laid to rest Rabbi Shakespeare.
Yes,
He died
yes.
on the 8th of December, but he was laid to rest um, on the 6th, on Bob Marley's birthday. He was
Mm-hmm.
laid to rest at Strawberry Hill.
Oh wow.
It's a resort property that is owned by Chris Blackwell.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
if anybody want to see the remains of our where Rabbi Shakespeare is laid to rest, you have to go to Strawberry Hill Resort, and of course, it will be a museum, and everybody gonna get a chance to see where the great. But you can also see the funeral on
Yeah,
big screen television because I captured everything from the viewing to the church and to the burial spot. So everything is up there when it comes to Rabbi Shakespeare. This month is a month that's I'm somewhat sad because some of our icons uh, are not really getting the due. Some of them are dying and not even getting their just reward. So hopefully, the powers that be can start working. I think the government, because it takes a lot of money to hunt your money, to find out who has your royalty, who has your copyright, who infringed this, who infringed that. So it takes a lot. So we
yeah,
really need the government who has that resources that can put in, what I mean, even loan it to the artist until you get back those millions and you can deduct the money that you spent plus a stipend or whatever the situation might be. But we need to have something in place for our iconic artists who are still alive and still need our help.
yeah. So that's good to know. And yes, you are a humanitarian. I've seen you over the years, protesting and joining hands with people who have faced, various injustices and so on. But let me talk to you a bit about the Trenchtown area.
Yes.
My family are from the Benbow Street, Septimus Street, Dibbo area, and it's been
Right.
about 3 years since I've gone through there.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is it like today in
Well,
the
it's
area
sad
of?
news. Sad news. Very sad news. About 2 or 3 days ago, there was a double homicide on Benbow Street where
Oh,
two people were shot and killed at the corner of Benbow and Nelson Street. You must know where that is.
yeah, man.
And it has it put a dampen on the spirit of the community. As you know, George Pang is very instrumental with the then senior superintendent Robert in instilling and bringing back a peace, a love, and a joy to the community of Arnett Garden. Because remember, Jamaican matters. All life matters. Every person is important. And sometimes we look at the youngsters and we might curse at them and so on, but we don't know what's going on in their head. We have not walked a mile in their shoe. So I'm working assiduously every chance I get, and if I'm invited to a particular community, I will go in there and I'll try my best to motivate the youngsters because this has to stop. We've lost already 140 something people since the beginning of the year. The police have recovered well over 150 firearms with thousands of rounds of ammunition. We just lost another young man recently Westmoreland area. It was known as Westmoreland Most Wanted. He was shot and killed, and an AK-47 was taken from his body. Now, even though someone has done bad, I still hurt. I still cry because we have lost a young soldier. We have lost a young man that could have been put to something else. Because we
Yeah,
are the elders. I'm 65 in July. But guess what? We need the youngsters to carry on, to pick up the mantle and carry on for the next generations to come. We're losing too much of our picnic then. Too much of our children we're losing. Recently, we lost a little boy, 9 years old. I forgot his first name, but his last name was King. His mother was driving him in her car, and she got carjacked. That's what the story was, and they took her vehicle. And 10 minutes later, when the police found the vehicle, her little boy, 9 years old, was found in the back seat with his throat slashed. So this
yeah.
atrocities, even though Jamaica is a beautiful country, as you know, every inch and crevice of Jamaica is wonderful. I enjoy waking up to the ambience, to the people, to the culture, to the food, but I don't enjoy waking up to murder, to bloodshed, to mayhem, to you understand, to injustice.
So,
Also, also, one point, real quickly, because I'm going like speeding bullet now. There was a case where a little 19-year-old girl by the name of Nzinga King, she was pepper sprayed in the back seat of a car, a taxi car. She came out and she became a little boisterous. As you know, pepper spray in your eyes and so on can make you be a little arrogant. They arrested her, put her in jail, and then when her mother went to pay the bail bond, her mother was surprised. She couldn't find her daughter because this other little girl that they brought was without her locks. So she's saying, "Where's my daughter? That's not my daughter. Where is my daughter?"
Yeah, we've been following the story. It's
And
quite sad.
the DPP has no rule that nobody is to be charged apparently and Zinga King pluck her own locks from her hair. No, you know how painful it is just to pluck one strand of hair from your face. You ever try to pluck a strand of hair from anywhere and
Oh,
how
it's
painful that is?
it's
Much as to hold your locks and pop it out like they're trying to insinuate. So
it
there's a
doesn't
lot
make
of
any
injustice
sense.
in this beautiful country, but we're working to make it better.
So let me ask you, besides George Pang and you trying to instill peace in the community, are there any other initiatives? Because I hear what's going on in there, and it's very sad. So what is it? Is there a community effort? Are there, organizations in there trying to find out what's the root cause of why there's this constant war going on?
Well, we have the Peace Management Initiative, the PMI. They're doing a remarkable job, but they're stretched thin. They're not budgeted properly. They don't have the resources. And I tell you, it is not poverty that is really stemming this murder. This murder is deeper than that. This murder is family killing family. This murder is friend killing friends. This murder is people killing people for hire. If you want somebody to look at you and you don't like the way that person look, you give somebody $10,000 or $15,000 and that person don't exist anymore. So it has become a business. So what we're trying to do here is to see how much we can. Because remember, Natalie, when you have a scab and you look at that scab and it might be there for 6 months, a year, and then you look like it's healed from the outside. But if you really pick that scab, Natty, you'll see that underneath it's still fresh. This blood still oozing. And what do we say to a young man that lost his mom and dad to gun violence? What do we say to a man who lost his brother to gun violence? How can we console him? What can we say? Forget? So these are some of the obstacles that we're faced with, but we're working. I'm working, George is working, and we know you're working, Natalie, from a
Yeah,
distance. And we know with the kind of force that we're coming with, we're gonna beat this thing, this monster
I
that is
hope
breaking our
so.
country.
So when I look at Trenchtown, this Reggae Month, and I know that all over Europe now with Reggae Month, they're doing all different kinds of concerts, right?
Yeah,
To recognize reggae and how it's impacted the world and so forth. And
yes,
when I think about Trenchtown, I envision a community where you have state of the art museum, library, where you have guest houses where maybe tourists can come and stay, not just visit and leave, where you have tour guides, where there are some beautiful murals on the walls there. And, I just envision more and a more inclusive trench town in this tourism sector of Jamaica. And also where the people can also be involved in it. You know what I'm saying?
but
So,
it pains my heart, Natalie, because here is a area that everything great in regards to reggae music. Even if they wasn't born there, they had to go there to be molded into this greatness. Look at the Ambassador Theatre, just sitting there. The Ambassador Theatre should be a theatre for the performing arts, a
yeah,
university where we teach the culture of our great country, the music. Look at Robbie Shakespeare. He's dead and gone now, but was his legacy taught? Did we stop by to say, let's grab a older Robbie, let's link him up with the younger generation and bridge that gap? You know what I mean? So that we can impart. Because if we don't bridge that gap, trust me, Natalie, the gap is this wide, very wide. I'm telling you. The youngsters don't want to speak to the elders. The elders say, "Boy, ooh, them you there, them can't tear me in a big stone. Ooh, them will tell us, boy, we hold and we mash up." But I don't look at it like that. I look at it as that kid is misguided. We are learned, we're educated, we're intelligent. We're going to bring him and teach him like our foreparents did. Tough love. You have to look at him seriously and say, George, listen to me carefully, man. What you're doing is not right. You have to tell him that. You don't want to disrespect him or break his ego or so on, but you want to tell him the truth. We need you. We don't need you to be locked up behind bars. We don't need you to be in prison for a long stretch. We need you to be free on the streets. You
Yeah.
understand where I'm coming from? And sadly, family is killing family. That's why the part that hurt. You know, recently George was telling me about a situation where the Tivoli Gardens and the Arnett Gardens Football League were constantly going at it. Constantly going at it. They're fighting. Every time there's a football match, somebody gets shot or somebody gets killed. And he told me, George said, Big Stone, Burrell, who was Captain Burrell, who was the captain for the Football Federation, came to him one evening and said, George, this has to stop. We cannot actively garden and Arnett Gardens fighting at each other. They went to the National Stadium, shots were fired and people ended up
You still
dead.
got some of them match there too, you know.
Yeah, they went to Upper Camp.
Yeah.
Upper Camp, in the middle of Upper Camp, shots were fired and people end up dead. Wherever they go, there was a slew of violence and people were just dying left, right, and center. So George said, listen, we have to do something about it. Now, you know, George is a licensed firearm holder. So what he did was he took a couple of his friends, stopped down by 7th Street, 8 o'clock one night, and said he's going into Tivoli Garden. Now, look at it. 20-something years ago, you from Arnett Garden, that there's a beef constantly, right? There's a beef constantly going. And you're going to take up yourself and go to Tivoli Gardens over where the enemies are? George Pang did that. He went over there and said he wanted to speak to Dudas. When he got there on what was it? That street that is the high school is on. I forgot Industrial Terrace.
Yeah, man.
He ran into one of the guys from Tivoli Garden who knew him. I said, George, what are you doing here? Are you crazy? Do you know you're in Noma? You're not supposed to be here. You're gonna get killed. George said, listen, man, I come here to speak to Dudas. We have to stop this and bring this unity together. They sent for him and they had this wonderful embrace. And it was such a joy. Duda saying that, hey, George, you did it, but I would never come up to Arnett Garden, especially 8 o'clock at night. But you came down here to see me. We must stop this. And 20-something years later, Natalie, it is over. It is finished. There's no war between the Arnett Garden Football Club and the Tivoli Gardens Football Club. So we have to big up George Pang again for being brave, for, in the face of all adversity, and risk his own life, because that's risking your life to go into quote unquote enemy zone to bring some peace and sensibility back to your community. And I'm saying with the same mold, right, that George Pang had in mind, the same mold that Dudus had in mind, and it still stands till this day, we can implement measures from the same mold. You know what some of those measures are? Love, respect, loyalty. You understand?
Yeah.
Love, respect, loyalty, and honor amongst men. And the peace between Tivoli Gardens and Arnett Gardens still stand to this day, 20 years later. So
Well, George has always been sort of like a mediator in the community there. And back when I used to live up them side there, you know, if something flare up, it could have make a talk and the people them listen. But I don't know if this generation, young people, them just not take no talk or what, you know.
Guess what? And there's a whole lot of things. I have to big up Mark Ardial. Mark Ardial is one of those young brothers that I met from the Doing the Park area. And he knows what Big Stone is all about because we've been there. We've been on the battlefield. I've been to every single community in Kingston, Tivoli Garden, Southside, Tel Aviv, Spoilers, Akiwak, Jacksontown, you name it. Hungry Town, where Turbulence was born, cassava piece. I've been there. I enjoy going into these communities and hanging out with the youngsters because guess what? Somebody has to do it. And I enjoy doing it. I want to save life. I'm here to save a young man's life. I want him to reach as much as I am today. You know how much things I've enjoyed, how many places I've been, how much people I've helped and helped. You so young I am. These are the things that makes me look so young.
So when you were a cop, where were you stationed? Was it in the
I was
same?
I was stationed in the police band division.
Oh,
I'm
I
a
see.
trumpet
Okay.
player. I never liked gun up until this day. I hate guns because once you're
Oh,
in possession of a firearm, it builds your ego. It makes you think you're God. It makes you think that the person that's supposed to be your friend or your brother is less than you. You with a gun is like you're unstoppable. But I just want to tell these youngsters that you're not unstoppable. Look at how many of you have died. Look at this guy, Bonnie Hines, recently. He was gunned down in Westmoreland. He was noted as Westmoreland most wanted, wanted for numerous counts of homicide and robberies and shootings and so on. He's no longer here. You
yeah.
know,
Somebody just said. Somebody said Big Stone is like that. He has helped a lot of people, a lot of reggae artists.
well, that is true.
Tell us a little bit about your music life.
All right. Well, like I said, I grew up poor. I went to school barefooted. But I always liked music. Music was always a part of me. So I joined the Boys Club, was a Boys Club. Then I became a member of the Boys Brigade, where I learned to play the bugle. Then I became a member of the Montego Bay Boys Club, where I further enhanced my techniques on the bugle. And then I became a member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. I went directly to Port Royal in 1976. I was member of the Drum Corps there in Port Royal. So when I graduate on my graduation day, I knew exactly where I was going, the police band division. And that is where I learned my skills and how to communicate and relate to people because the band is the band-aid to the force. Anytime anything negative happen, they send the band in to kind of, bridge that gap and that
Hmm.
community, yeah, camaraderie and so on. So that's how I learned. Then I migrated in 1980 to Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, where I mastered the trumpet. I'm a record producer. I own my own record label. So I came back to Jamaica in 1995, where I met Turbulence, Sheldon Campbell as a young man. I was the first one that actually gave Turbulence the future, a microphone that says, "You have a talent, you're a superstar, you can become great. Never let your circumstances of hungry town, of poverty, drive you into anything." That's
Where
why
is Hungry Town? Tell us where Hungry Town is, because I don't know where.
all right, Umbertown is on Manils Hill Road. Just
Oh, really?
yes, man. As you pass Cassava Piece, right? You go up a little further. There's a supermarket right there. Then there's a left turn. Then there's um, a pizza place, and then there's that little lane that takes you right into that little community. They call it.
Oh, I know which part you're at. It's almost
Yeah.
right in front of the plaza with the KFC and
Right.
oh,
Exactly.
okay.
I met Nesbeth when Nesbeth was only 17. In
And Nesbeth come from one of your place.
Nesbeth come from Zimbabwe. On it down.
Right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A matter of fact, when I met Nesbeth, he won my talent competition in 1998. He won all the prizes: best talent, best dress, best lyrical, best music, everything he won. And Nesbeth has not looked back. As you know, he's now at top of his game. He's touring all over the world. He had major hits. Look at me now. That's
Yeah.
Nesbeth. Warrior King again was my little young prodigy that I inculcate greatness in. Mr. Gotti Gotti, the gospel DJ, the one who said, "You were moving up very up here, bad with the music cause." No, Mr. Gotti Gotti is a Christian and he's been great with his career. So my time here in Jamaica is well spent. Every chance I get, I'll do it again and again and again and again until I die. I continue
So
to.
tell us if there's a group or an individual in the community and they have been blessed with the talent and the skill of doing reggae music. is there a place in the community in a trench town where you can take them and let them practice them vocals and everything like that? Is that how it works?
No, sadly, that's what I was saying. Look at the Ambassador Theater. The Ambassador Theater used to be the place where you had the Beer John Opportunity Hour, where people like Alton Ellis went to own skills, Ken Booth, you know what I mean, Harold Dunkley, Carl Dawkins, all the great pass through the Ambassador Theater. There's no place in Trenchtown now where you can congregate. Really, I actually teach a youngster skill. We're fighting for that. That is what we're fighting for, and that is
So
what.
what about what about this? Isn't there a music studio there now?
There's a studio down there, but as you know, the community is like, there's fractions of violence here or there, so people are not even comfortable to walk
Oh,
the street. If you go to 4th Street right now, you'll see a police, military, what you call it, checking point right there. And that's why I beg these youngsters. I says, please, Jesus, how can you live with just the police breathing down your neck? Please,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Please love your brethren. Please come together. I couldn't take police every minute. I have to go through a checkpoint. So I behave myself. You don't have to resort to a gun. You don't have to resort to a gun to sort out anything. A
Yeah,
gun is a
but no. So back in the days, and I used to go St. Andrew Primary School on Spanish Town Road. And
yes,
we used to walk from in front of Maypen Cemetery, go up Collie Smith Drive, stop
yes.
on Mango All Boat, go through Rima, go through everywhere, and come up a Benbow Street. And everything was good. I don't think people would take that chance today.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Look at it. All right. I was there one day talking to a very good friend of mine down by Price Street. And when I looked around, I noticed there was like a no man's land.
Oh God, man.
There's this big open lot. But he was telling me that, in 1965, there was a pharmacy right there. In 1971, there was a bakery. In 1973, there was an ice cream parlor, a doctor's office. We don't have these things there anymore.
Really? Oh my
Yes,
goodness.
because of violence. And that is what we're working on. I know we're not God, right? But we're working on it to bring a suitable change, to the
Yes. I remember I was told that there used to be a clinic in there.
yeah, the only thing that place didn't have was a gas station.
Yeah,
Everything was there. The milkman used to come and leave the milk on the door on the gate. You remember that? The postman used
yeah,
to come and leave your mail there. You have a post box. Can you
yeah.
imagine? Now look at the place down there.
Later man used to come up on bicycle
Yeah.
and
The
oh
bread
God.
come drive through the community, let the bread off and so on. I know that things are not like that. So instead of we coming forward in 2022, we've gone backwards. We've
So
gone many years backwards. And we
no
need
man, there has to be some way that the music fraternity and also the culture ministry can see how rich Trenchtown and that area is as the reggae capital of Jamaica. I mean, there's so much potential there. They need to invest, because you have to invest to be able to reap. No, so I go.
most definitely. And
So
they
the
spent
place needs advocacy.
$387 billion on social intervention. $387 billion. Like I say, I grew up poor, went to school barefooted. So poverty is not really where the problem is. Of course, we need to have our
No,
young.
it's not
But
poverty.
no,
Not
look at
poverty at
80.
all.
Even with poverty, look at 80. 80's crime rate is about half ours, and they
Oh,
have
it's more
12
than
million
half, more
people.
than less than half.
Yeah, and they have 12 million people down there. So poverty does not, it does play a minute part. If a youngster don't have anything, might go steal something and so on to eat and so on. But most of these youngsters, the type of guns that they're firing, one of them AK-47, you know what that gun value? 600,000, 800,000.
Half a
A 9
million.
millimeter handgun. You know what that's value? 400,000, 300. So when
Mm-mm.
police kill any one of these youngsters and take a gun off of them, trust me, you'll see where that youngster have no money in his pocket, yet still he's firing a gun that could buy him a car and give him a start in life. So we need to break that mindset. That's where we need to go.
Let me ask you a question real quick about the crime. And although I know this is not the center of what we're talking about, but this thing here where the government said that they'll give somebody 200,000 to a half a million if they turn in a gun. You think these young men will ever do that?
Um, uh, let's put it this way. We have a gun culture that stretched far back as in the 60s. You remember them cowboy and Indian movie, the spaghetti movie, the Django them, kill them all and come back alone, a fistful
Yeah.
of dollar, death rides a horse. You remember all them type of movie there? Those movies were the movie that inspired in the mind of even myself when the Winchester rifle goes up, ping! It does something in my head. So as a
Oh
young
my God, really?
everybody wants to run back. Yeah.
Oh yeah, say.
Plastic gun, a toy gun, a water gun. It's got to be some kind of gun. If you get a little car, your face makeup because you want a gun. Now it has blossomed into the politician bringing the guns to these youngsters. But now things has changed. There's latter scamming. There's scamming and there's extortion where these youngsters don't have to go to a don to get a gun anymore. They can purchase
Mm-mm.
a gun.
Oh my
Why
goodness.
is it so dangerous in Jamaica?
So what it comes down to is the gun is the power for a poor man, because that's probably the only power that he'll ever have, right?
Yeah, the
Or
false power that he
it could
believes.
be a situation where I'm learning as I'm, on the social media and reading certain things and realize that a lot of times these communities are so volatile that young men feel they need to have these weapons to protect themselves. You know what I mean?
All right, I did a video recently about parenting, and Natalie, that's where it starts. It starts at home. The first thing first, these young ladies must learn how to choose their partner. You have to choose a partner that is going to be responsible just in case you get pregnant, to take care of you and take care of your child. Most of that is not happening. Boy, me like you, you like me, you have a little change and so on, and we exchange some loving and some sex, and boom, there goes the picnic. You understand?
Yeah.
And and then when these children are born, them leave them with the grandparents. No, grandma get tired because grandma start get younger and younger. You know what I mean? Grandma in our age was 50 and 60 and grandma knows in them 30s, them still want to go out. So they don't have no time to take care of your picnic. So most of the youngsters are out there depending on other youngsters to take care of them, depending on other youngsters to guide them. And that is where the problem comes in. So we have to get back to that
Mm-mm.
family structure where it takes a village to raise a child. Mama and papa have to be there in the household and look out for the picnic. You know, Parent Teachers Association. Remember that? A
Yeah,
lot of
man.
people don't even understand what it means. Parent Teachers Association meetings is very crucial for two reasons. One, you as a parent will learn how your child has been doing in school because the teacher is going to tell you. When you go to these meetings, the teacher is going to say, well, Natalie, your daughter Natalie is a straight A student, she's doing great, so forth and so on. Fantastic. Or your daughter Natalie missed 3 days from school. But you're at the parent at home is saying, but how did Natalie miss 3 days of school when I gave her lunch money, when I gave her bus fare? She should
Mm-hmm.
be going out to school. So that is how you learn. And then you also learn if the teacher is suitable or capable of teaching your child. So it's a win-win situation. Most of these parents don't go to parent teachers meeting so that when there's a problem with the child and the child come home and say, Mama, teacher licked me. Whoa, teacher licked you. Boom, then papa off a gun. Because it happened many times. Then papa off a gun. Lay with the teacher. Don't ask any question at the school yet. And bam, 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 bam. A teacher like that. Ah, chop, 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 chop. A teacher get chop up. And that is the
Mm-hmm.
problem that we have these days. We have to bridge the gap between the old and the new, the youngsters and the elders. They must. The Chinese, you know what the Chinese do? Just go in any Chinese community or Japanese community, and you'll see the elders 75, 80. They deal with the children, playing with the children, teaching the culture, imparting the culture. If you ask a young man what is dokuno or blue drawers, he don't know it. Why? what is Akam, you know, what is Jax. You don't know what is Tinning Lamp, what is Lampshire, say home sweet home. You don't know those cultures.
No. Jamaica
No,
is nice, man. Oh gosh.
but we have the knowledge as elders, so we must get brave and just impart the knowledge to our children. Don't be afraid.
Mm.
There's still some great kids out there. They just need your love. They just need you to guide them. They just need you to make them great again. Not their fellow friends or who is thinking the same thing. And another thing I must say, marijuana, ganja, and I'm speaking directly to Jamaican youngsters. You see them high grade weed where them I bring from foreign and I sell for 120,000 a pound. And
Oh,
I
wait,
come,
you said to me.
yeah, man. And I said, yeah,
Yeah.
mango kush and sour diesel and all that. Recently, I saw a documentary where a herb dealer was saying that most of these weed that is homegrown are used based with chemical.
Oh my goodness. Real.
And
I
these
wonder if that make them a go on crazy stuff.
yeah, they're mood altering chemical. Some of, the,
Wow.
some of the chemical are known as formaldehyde or embalming fluid. What they do is they get a spliff, and after they roll up the spliff, they get the embalming fluid and they coat it like this, and then they light it, and then they
Sorry
burn
thing.
it to fry. Yes,
No,
they
sir.
paint begins to fry.
And then they're importing marijuana?
Yeah, you never know that.
No, first me a
Jamaican
year.
herb, never know on a Jamaican weed again.
What?
If you're not smoke some of these Girl Scout cookie kind of have some ridiculous name to mango cushion kind of name.
But
You know?
well, this certainly gives a new perspective to what, because if they're taking this stuff and you see some heinous things are going on, you have to, it makes you wonder, are these guys influenced by the stuff that they're smoking?
Yeah. Look at Montego Bay. Look at it. They killed
Mm-mm.
a kid recently. You know what they did? They skinned his face. They peeled his face from his
No, sir, some madness that.
some of these killings. I've seen they kill people and use their head as football. He said, yeah, videos running around the guy using the head of another guy, playing football. I see where another guy used a dull knife or dull machete, and he spent at least 2-3 minutes trying to chop off the head of another human being.
Mm-mm.
So we get colder and colder and colder. And if you listen to some of the music, I'm not saying all the music are like that, because back in the days when you had Bob Marley or the revolutionary music, right? These music used to make we think powerful and think about self and about country and about family. But these
Mm-hmm.
music I talk about man Murphy fly, and when we jump out of the vehicle and we do a drive by, you shoot one person, we have to lick down 6 and 10 people, and we can't catch him mother, we have to catch him brother, we have to catch him uncle, him great granny. It doesn't matter. Somebody has to pay. And that is how it is. Tit for tat, butter for fish. You know?
Dancehall versus reggae, don't?
Yeah. And they have this new name, trap music. That's really trapping you, their mind.
Mm-mm.
The melody is
So
nice, nothing wrong with it, but it's just that the lyric that they put with
it
these
grew some of them grew some, man.
terrible.
Yeah. So forget this idea going of kind of seeing Trenchtown for the richness, that it is with the culture and the music and everything. Maybe we can start a petition, or maybe you can make an appeal to the representative of the
Uh,
constituency. Because
okay.
it's a real and
Mark Bolin is the representative, the People's National Party representative for the Arnett Garden Trenchtown division, right? I know Mark very well, hard working. But we need money. You know, I wouldn't want to be a part of it because I don't do GoFundMe or crowdfundme. But I would promote if you start one. We
no,
could
not
use
a GoFundMe. I'm
it.
saying a petition. A
A
petition.
petition is just a call to say that we need this
Call
done.
to
We need
action.
funding. We need funding. You see, it doesn't make sense not for us to go there with one bag of talk and no action. We're not going to get anywhere. We need to move. If we say we're going to start, for instance, a marching band, we need equipment. We need bugles. We need side drums. We need drumsticks. You know, we need a lot of stuff for these kids. I'm willing to give up my time free of charge as a professional musician, and I know a lot of people like Dean Fraser and a lot of other people who will give up their time free of charge to teach these youngsters. I would love them in a man. We love there's not one youth, whatever, me don't care which party him come from, which gang him involved in them. I love him, brethren. I want to see the best for that youth there. I don't want to look upon him body and go and funeral. I've been to
Sure,
so many
man.
funerals. I've been to so much, I've spoken at so much youngsters' funeral. Bleeds my heart, you know. I don't want to continue doing that this year.
You know, right before I came on, somebody sent a video come give me. There's something going on in the Trenchtown area tonight. I don't know if you know about it.
Yeah, man. It's not tonight. Well, on the 20th,
No,
there's a
Mrs. Something not going
reggae
tonight,
concert.
man.
I don't know about tonight. I was in Trenchland tonight. I was at Skyline doing Nature Ellis album launch. Was up there doing some work up there. But I know the Trenchtown Association have something big. They call it the Trenchtown Experience, which is reggae concert for freedom and economical liberation, February 20th, live at the Trenchtown Culture Yard. This is the 20th of February. And in 80, they're doing also a concert on the 18th.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So on the 20th in Trenchtown, we have Young Garvey, Mikey Knowledge, Nature Ellis, Torch, Leroy Sibbles, Luciana, Tappa, Bill, Visor Dance, Stranger Cole, Tapazuki, Ken Booth, Wailing Soul, Ellis Brothers, Horace Sandy, Little Roy, Tabby Diamond, Jason W. Wright, Big Youth, and a whole heap of great ones going to be there on the 20th for the Trenchtown experience.
Yeah.
That's what I
Send me
know.
the flyer and I'll post it. But I was gonna say, right before we came on, somebody sent me a live video where I don't know if a birthday party or something was going on,
Possibly,
and a young
possibly.
man, yeah, and a young man was on the stage.
I
Hmm?
just sent you the flyer so you can post it whenever you feel like.
Okay, cool.
Well, from time to time, people, the prime minister has now pushed back the curfew from 10 to 5 to now 11 to 5. So people are staying out a little bit longer. But the entertainment business is still closed. They're not open. So anytime you see somebody do something like that, they don't have permission from the government to do it. It's
Oh,
considered
I see.
an illegal party under the Disaster Risk and Management
So
Initiative.
there any economic life? Would you say is there any economic life there in Trenchtown going on? Them area there?
There's so much availability of economical growth there. And I say the availability, but it cannot happen unless the citizens come together, bury their differences, stop fighting, stop killing themselves. Because nobody wants to come to an area where shots are being fired. And we're talking about not from a 38 revolver, shots are being fired from an AK-47 rifle,
Mm,
M16 rifle, an AR-15, a Glock 40. These are bone breaking, bullet killing machines, you
mm,
know. So not until the people, not until we can heal the mind of the people and back to that mental stage of sanity, back to the 70s where we can love each other and respect each other. You know, that's the thing that I hope for and pray for. Trenchtown is filled with, much people would want to come to First Street and see where Bob Marley and Rita Marley had Ziggy, you know,
yeah,
on a single bed, like a one room in the kitchen there, down a culture yard. Everybody would want to see that. Bob Marley is one of the biggest earner, even in death, as we speak.
true.
So I would only hope that, and I'm speaking directly now to the Marley family. They've tried a lot. They've done so much for Trenchtown, but I'm begging them to do more. Please, Trenchtown need a hospital or what you call it, one of those clinics, with so much shooting and so on and so forth. They have to go all the way to KPH or all the way to the university. We need to have a clinic there. Some of the citizens are suffering from high blood pressure. Some of the kids are traumatized. You know what it is to get up 2 o'clock in the morning, and you pam, 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 pam. On you look, your windows flying and so on. You have to take to the ground. You have to hide under your bed. Let us change the kids' them life for 2022. Let's break
Mm-mm.
that cycle of fear. Because these kids, they're fearful. Trust me. When you see them sometimes, I'm sorry for them.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
frightened. They're terrorized. They've seen dead bodies. It's like nothing to them now.
So they don't have like a community, I don't maybe a community center, like a trauma place where you can bring.
No, not that I know of. Not that I know of. I know the Peace Management Initiative fills that gap, but that's they only can do but so much, you know. The
A war
police,
zone, though, man.
excuse me,
Come like a war zone, like a real war
might
zone.
come in like a war zone. Then if you have people firing AK-47 and M16 rifle, these are the choice of weapons that they have firing, and sometimes they'll fire a shot all night into the next day.
Mm-mm.
You know how much for one AK-47 bullet?
Mm-mm.
1,500 Jamaican dollars.
Oh, yeah, say.
And they can fire that all night. So you're wondering who is funding this? Who is doing this? Word in the street, they're saying that you have people who used to live in the community are sending back guns down to the community to fight a long time grievance that they have. If
That's
that
so
is so,
ridiculous.
but it is true. Some people are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
They go on Instagram and they pose with guns and say, "Oh, I send this back for the car now. All the AK-47 now. Oh, when a piece in, better run, They're doing that. They're using social media like it's a platform to sell their badness.
The government need to stop these things from because somebody see it coming. They need to open them eye and look and stop it. It's
Well,
crazy.
well, let me tell you something. First of all, we're not in control of our borders. The government don't control the wharf. The wharf are controlled by Chinese. We don't control our airports. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Our
yeah.
borders, we don't have enough boats from the Coast Guard to police from the Coast Guard or the other areas to what do you call it, guard these shorelines. So people, there are pockets where people can just slip in. A little
So
boat
what
can
we need now? We
be.
need manpower and money this again.
Yeah, we need preventive mechanism. We need
Okay.
drones to be in the sky and so on.
Yeah, yes, true. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Big Stone.
Thank you
I
so much
want you to
for
come
having me.
back and keep us updated about, what's going on, if there's any progress, and because some of this is really sad to hear. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news.
No, but
But
what
it
you
is
gonna do
the truth.
is the truth.
It is the truth,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in we talking about the negativity of Jamaica, hopefully we have citizens out there that is watching this program, that are fan base to you, can reach out to you, and don't leave your family members behind. For far too long, there's a lot of Jamaicans, they've been overseas. I know some family members beg them every minute, they want them send this and that, call them think money grow from the tree. But you have family members who can afford to send back a little tips, you know,
True, true,
because
man,
a
true.
little tips can stop a youngster from go rob some place or kill somebody.
Turn to badness, that's true.
Or sometimes a phone call. You know, Danny, how you doing, Danny? Boy, Danny's is so good, but hold on for a $50. Yeah. Maybe that can help stop a gap. You know what I mean? I say $200 and can buy some chicken and raise them. You know, give them a fish and you have to feed them forever. Teach them how to fish and then they can sustain themselves. Jamaica is a beautiful country. It's only a handful of youth. Remember that, me I tell you, only a
Yeah,
handful of youth is responsible for 95% of the murders.
that's true, man.
Uh,
Yes.
Jamaica's no mash up. Jamaica no gone nowhere. We're still there on the ground.
Maybe we just need to start a petition to say, pay more attention to here. Let's eliminate crime, bring some economic life to the community and the people. And, I would love to see tourists staying in Trenchtown. You know
Of
what I mean?
course, I would love to see that too. And
Yeah.
they would love to see that. They're begging for that. So it makes me wonder, what is the government doing about this? How can you have a tourist attraction as Trenchtown. This is where Alton Ellis used to live. This is where Babandi went to school. You know, this is where the greats of the greats of the greats of the greats of the greats. This is where they all congregate. You don't want to preserve that. You don't want to make that safe so that tourists can come in and enjoy it and the people can make money from selling. Because if a man get a stone and painted red, green, and gold, all right, one love on it, and stand up right at the corner in peace, that him gonna sell it.
A true man, yeah.
Oh, this stone is so lovely. Oh, this is from Jamaica. Well, let's take this back to Holland. We give you $20 for this. Anything can sell.
True.
You know, but they just I don't know if to say. It's either them can't do it or them don't want to do it. And me know them can do it. So guess what? Them better do it. Because we now stop them. I'm tired.
Yes. Keep talking about it, man. All right. Thank you again. Yes, right? Man. Yeah, man.
And have a wonderful evening. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you.
And remember, matters. All life matters.
Absolutely. All right. Yes, guys. So that was the interview done with Big Stone back in 2022, February 13th. And I want to ask you, what have they done for the constituency that is the birthplace of reggae music? Let me hear you in the comments, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you keep it locked here to JPU. Make sure you're subscribed. Thank you. Have a good evening.